Welcome to Girlish Gurus. I'm Joy.
And I'm Susan. And we're here to have discussions about topics on many subjects that we hope are informative, uplifting, and fun.
So, let's get started.
Let's. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Girlish Gurus.
Hello, welcome.
We are so honored to have two special guests today. First, our friend Lorraine Miano, who we've had on before, and we love having her. We always have a great time with Lorraine. And we have another guest, Leslie Ender, who is here joining us from Innsbruck, Austria. And wow,
Very
we feel
cool.
really honored to have you here with us, Leslie. And Lorraine and Leslie are going to talk to us today about a new hot topic, women's retreats. More specifically, later on, we're going to get into retreats for menopausal, premenopausal to postmenopausal women. But we're going to start out just talking about how retreats for women have become a very popular thing. Leslie's been putting these together for a while now. And so, Leslie, would you like to share with us a little bit of why you started that, what prompted you to do it, and some of the reasons that you feel it's so beneficial for women to have these retreats to go on?
Okay, well, I moved to Europe in 2012, and I was very much enjoying being here and traveling. And travel has always been my passion. And I know the planning and the creating an experience and the ambiance. So I had a vision for my own business. And at first, I wasn't exactly sure what direction I would go, but I decided to start my business with a practice tour. And I would invite all my girlfriends, and then they could come and I would do a tour, and then they could give me feedback and hopefully recommendations. And so I did that. And what I experienced during that trip was just this magic that happened when women came together. And what was especially wonderful is, 2017, there's a lot of tension in our country. And on this trip, we had women, all kinds of women, all kinds of backgrounds on both ends of the spectrum and many things. And this trip, we came together and we focused on what we had in common as women. And it was beautiful. And friendships were formed, and they were all around a circle of women around me. But suddenly they all knew each other and they're flying to visit each other. And I thought, well, there's something really magical here. So then I started focusing on women's groups. And then I started adding some themes. I had coaches come and looking at thriving in midlife, on all of the transitions that we as women face. And then I've also since then become trained as a certified coach myself. And a year ago, about a year ago, Lorraine came on a Tuscany tour with me, and we very much connected. And she loved the setting and the beauty of the place we were in Tuscany. It's this family-run winery, but also vineyards and olive groves. It's been a farm for 650 years, and the history and the people behind it has a medieval chapel on it, which is just amazing. And we were looking at the villa that's on this property, and we both just kind of synergistically looked at each other and thought this would be such a great place to bring women together and to really focus on something that's near and dear to both of our hearts, which is not only a positive aging in a healthy way, but really embracing and talking about perimenopause, postmenopause, that one day in between, and normalize it and take the kind of shame that's around it and really talk about it and look at all the ways to thrive in postmenopause and in perimenopause. And every woman can benefit from that information, young to old. We're all going to go through it, and we all need to know what to expect and how to support each other.
I have to tell you that Tuscany was absolutely magical. So that started it off for me. I've always wanted to do a retreat. And meeting Leslie, we connected beyond just being women at this age, our family histories and different things like that. We spent a lot of time walking in the vineyards, talking. And it was just, we really connected. And when we did go to that villa, I think both of us saw the exact same, right, proposed, I guess, experience that would be happening in the next year. And we said, this is it. We need to do this. And so when we got back, and then Leslie contacted me a couple of months later, and she said, okay, you ready to do this? And I'm like, yes, it's time. And so since then, we've been promoting it to women in all ages, because not only is it women that are pre and perimenopausal, but this can be for women at any age that want to learn more about the process, what they will be experiencing through this natural phase of their life. And for the most part, this retreat will be for any woman, because what woman doesn't want to be pampered, have an experience away from home, a little self-care, a little self-love. Yes, there'll be some talk about menopause and navigating midlife, but for most of it, it could be for any woman of any age.
Mm-hmm. And who doesn't want to go to a farmhouse in Tuscany?
Really?
I'm just saying.
I know, under the Tuscan sun.
Oh, come on. Chain me to the wall. That sounds wonderful.
What do you think, given that we do, I mean, I know I've seen, as I look at different travel options, because I love to travel too, that these group retreats, especially focused on women, have become so popular. What do you think it is about these that draw women to them that they may not get from another vacation or a vacation with their family? What do you think it is that's really attracting them?
Well, it's definitely a trend, and there's something driving that trend. Yeah.
I think it's being with other women, right, that are experiencing something you're going through, and just having that connection with people who are having the same experiences as you, especially during this phase that's often vilified, especially by Western culture. And it's not being talked about, maybe even with your physician or your mom or your sister. And it's a great way to open up, right, these conversations, and also get the guidance, possibly support and resources that you need to navigate these years.
And from more of a midlife travel, and actually this trend of women traveling together, there are women who do the same thing for me that focus on the 20-somethings or the 30-somethings.
Okay.
So I think that one of the phenomenon that we are seeing is that when women come together to travel, it is a different experience than when they are with partners, than when they are with children. And we all know that when we are vacationing with family, the mom isn't necessarily getting the most relaxing vacation. She is still often managing children, managing the family, because that's often her role. And so there are a lot of married women who just want to have some time with a peer or a friend or a daughter. And then there are single women. I've had single women who, they do life great as a single. They found their space, they have a great job, they have great friends, but they may not have a travel partner. They may not have someone with the same schedule, the same budget. So for them, it's wonderful. They like to go, and then everything's planned for them.
Yeah.
Is really wonderful. And on some of the tours, they just want to be little ducklings, and they want a mama duck or two mama ducks to just tell them where to be, and show up here, and the rest is all taken care of them. And then there's the magic of how women relate to each other and the connections that are made. And when I saw that, I thought, nothing against men. I love men, but one man in there can change the dynamic with a bunch of women, right?
Truth. Truth.
So I think on many levels, that type of travel can be especially nurturing, and we are really craving community in our world, and it's looking different all the time. It's wonderful if you have a close set of friends that are sharing the same experiences in your life close that you can meet for coffee every other week. And we all hopefully have friends like that, but to really connect with other women in a deep way where you're traveling and then you have it's this little tribe that you keep connected with and maybe you travel with again is a really wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and retreats actually often have intentions, right? And vacations not necessarily.
Yeah.
So there's an intention. There's the possibility that you'll come away with something that will benefit your life in the future, something you've learned on the retreat, along with connecting with all those women. And most of them can be in natural surroundings, someplace that may be quiet, serene, and different than the fast pace of a vacation.
Yeah.
So
and your everyday world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It can be an escape, but also that you'll take something back with you and that you can probably then want to do again in the future because it's It, like you said, it is a magical experience.
Yeah. And you can make lifelong friends, I think, from those experiences as well, because you have that shared experience that you did together, and sometimes those can be life-changing.
And also, retreats can be more economical than a vacation because all of these things that are planned for you, if you had to do that all on your own, could be quite expensive. And yet, being on a retreat, all of those extra little things that we will talk about, specifically about ours, you find that you can get it all in this one little package.
I think that the ability just to reset yourself is something that we really don't put enough emphasis on here in this Western culture. It is so important to get away from your day-to-day routine and from whatever it is that you're doing. I know whenever I go on a trip and I get out of my comfort zone and I go someplace new, I come back with a whole new perspective and a whole new refreshed, reset feeling. And that makes me more productive in my day-to-day business. So I don't think you can put a price on that in many ways. I really don't. It's very valuable.
I think, too, for a lot of women, just the fact that everything's planned for them, because as women, we typically do all the planning for if it's a family vacation, or for me, I travel by myself a lot or with friends, and I've always done most of the planning. So to have the majority of it done really is a weight lifted in some ways. So that can make it even more enjoyable and relaxing as well. To just know, like you said, you have to be a little duckling and follow along.
Yes.
Well, why don't we talk then specifically about this fabulous retreat you two ladies have planned and what all is going to be involved in that. We really want to share that with our listeners in hopes that maybe they can come along with you. And if not on this one, on a future one.
Yeah. Leslie, you want to go first?
Yes, I will. And one thing I wanted to stress is that Lorraine and I have purposefully built in time for self-reflection, and we are going to be seeing and experiencing marvelous things, but it's not fast-paced. It's deep, it's slow, it's connecting with the culture, it's connecting with the people, it's connecting with ourselves. And I loved what Joy said, because I do really believe that travel, when you're removed from your everyday and you're really doing the type of travel where you have a chance to take a breath and look around, you really are immersed totally in your environment, because you're seeing new things, you're tasting new things, you're hearing new things. You might be hearing a different language, different food. All your senses are alive, and that is the absolute definition of mindfulness and of being present. And that's when we open up, and that's when change happens. Yeah. And so that's another really beautiful part of this whole retreat and travel as women. Lorraine, do you want to talk about some of the wonderful things we have planned to nurture our bodies and souls?
Well, of course, we're starting in beautiful Florence. So that's where we will all meet and start and have our first meal together there. And from there, we will travel to, and while we are in Florence, and this is, again, everything that we're discussing, women can partake in or not, however they feel they want to. So in Florence, we do have a guided tour available to us and to hit all the wonderful spots, all the historical beauty and art of Florence. So we're going to do that.
And shopping.
And looking for the Ponte Vecchio. I have a story. So my sister-in-law and I went out looking. This was like just before our trip was actually starting with the group of women, and we were looking for the Ponte Vecchio to go shopping. Literally walked across it and asked someone for we were just about to ask someone for directions, and then realized we just walked across it after spending all this time looking for it. But anyway, beautiful. We did lots of shopping. We did lots of sightseeing. So there will be a day in Florence, and then from there we will travel to the beautiful Chianti Hills of Tuscany, to this beautiful, I can't even say enough about this estate. When I went there last year, when we got to our, so on the estate are several little villas. There's the large one where we'll be doing our retreat, but we stayed in one of the smaller houses, which was not quite small.
Yeah.
It was large. And when we walked in, and just it felt exactly what you think Tuscany would feel like, with flowers and the windows and the views and the terrace and the fireplace, down to the littlest detail. I was taking pictures of everything. I can tell you, I've got thousands of pictures. But when I walked in, I felt like, oh, this is it. This is going to be wonderful. I think I said to Leslie right off the bat, it was like better than I even thought it would be. The property is beautiful. And when we saw that villa, I said, this will be the perfect place to do this retreat. So what we have planned there, and there's a daily itinerary, but again, we've incorporated time for, you can go take a walk if you want into the village, or just relax, take a nap, do whatever you want. But during the day, we will have yoga in the mornings, possibly one evening of restorative yoga. We will have a daily walk that anyone would like to go on. We will have massages, and we specifically hired women who know how to work with menopausal women. And the massages that they will do are specifically health-related for menopausal women.
Wow.
And so we have that happening. We have a cooking class with the local, I like to say the local nonna. I call her the local nonna, but I'm not sure who it will be this time. But cooking class that we did, we made gnocchi last time.
Nice.
And I can just tell you now that if you have any kind of food allergies, don't worry about it, because they are very good about addressing that and being accommodating for that. We actually made gluten-free gnocchi that were absolutely wonderful, and everybody really enjoyed that. So the cooking classes. What else are we doing, Leslie?
Well, to be 98% sure, a really amazing experience with truffle hunting.
Oh,
wow.
With the special dog.
Wow.
So we're going to have an opportunity to do that. There is a medieval tower that's on the property, and we will have an opportunity, to go up there, and actually they open it up for us and climb to the top. And then Lorraine is going to do a talk on wellness and health for women, and focused, of course, on the menopausal woman, and just how to be your most healthy and thriving during this time. And then I, as a certified coach, I'm going to talk about thriving during this time and how to navigate life transition. And we're going to be focusing on the topics that are near and dear to people that are in that age range. I mean, we have retirement, we have career change, we have empty nest, we have loss of a partner, whether through divorce or through death. And so we are going to be looking at how do we face that? How do we transition? And how do we gather support? And really normalizing what we all walk through as women. And in midlife, there's some big transitions that often happen. And more. We're going to see some little stone villages.
That's what I was going to say. The medieval villages. And one important thing, a wine tasting tour.
Oh, yes. Oh, and that we have our own private chefs that prepare our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah,
Sounds
we're
so
going
good.
off the top of our heads, but lots of wonderful, nurturing things.
It sounds fabulous.
Yeah.
Just transport me. I want to be bewitched.
Yeah.
Just transport me
Right?
there.
It is. It'll be amazing. It will be absolutely amazing.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it.
And I will say that for the price point that we have, all that's included, the program, the food, the activities, Florence, the villages, again, all the meals, private chef, the quality and the attention and what you are going to receive, and the wine that's from the estate and the fresh local food, the price point's amazing, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
And also the people there are so amazing. They feel like family when you're there. We were hugging and kissing when we were leaving. I mean, really, they were just so wonderful. Everyone
And
there.
now, how long is this particular retreat?
It's 6 days. It's a Sunday to a Saturday.
Okay.
And it includes your room and board. It does not include your airfare or alcohol, right?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Which is
Correct.
wine flows like a river in Italy, so that's not a problem.
But the wine from that winery, the table wine, exceedingly reasonable. and
Always,
delicious.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is so good. And you don't get a hangover.
Yeah, and actually,
No.
this estate is organic.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
gosh.
they say biologic. Is that how they say biologic?
Yeah, they say biologic.
Yeah.
Biological.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely
And
wonderful.
it's in the fall. It's in October, so the colors should be beautiful. I went in the springtime, so it'll be nice to see it during a different season.
Yeah.
And the weather, Tuscany can be hot during the summertime, but in the fall, the weather's going to be perfect. That's going to be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather should be lovely. Although
But we can't guarantee the weather.
Well, of
the
course,
weather,
of course.
we can't guarantee anything. But I was there that same time frame several years ago, and it was beautiful weather. And we might get to see the olive harvest because we were there at that
great.
time of year and we saw it.
Yeah.
And to see them out in the fields and how they pick
That-
the olives,
that would be
it was
neat.
Tell you,
really
the olives
interesting.
and olive oil from that estate were amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And actually, this time I think I'm having it shipped home, the olive oil.
Well,
It was so good. It was so good.
delicious. So what's a typical menu like? So for example, breakfast. Is it like a continental breakfast that you would expect?
They have antipasta. They have
Yeah.
salamis, ham.
Cured meats.
So they have cured meats,
Brioche,
cheeses, brioche,
wonderful
fruit,
coffee.
Oh, the coffee.
coffee, different breads, jams, butter.
They had a homemade, I forgot what kind of berry it was that she made last time. The homemade jam that they had was, oh my God, to die for. I forgot what the berries
Right.
were. Yeah. So, and it's set,
Right.
like you
And
come down in the morning and it's all set there for you. It was wonderful.
Well, that's like a typical European travel hotel breakfast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, where you go and things are set out for you. Yes.
But they did say if anyone wanted eggs, that she was very happy to make them, but we never asked her to. Yeah. So they're very accommodating
Yeah.
that way.
And lunch and dinner. You pretty much stay on the estate for the whole week, right?
Well, it'll be three
Right.
full days on the estate. So at the beginning and at the end, we will be in Florence.
okay.
So there'll be
At a hotel.
There'll be a day and a half in Florence in a hotel, beautiful
Right.
hotel owned by the same family since the 1800s, and and that'll be at both ends of the week. So we'll be in the villa from Tuesday until Friday morning, and then head back. And on the way to the villa and back from the villa to Florence, we will be stopping at 2 different medieval villages where we'll have lunch, and women can go out on their own and do a little sightseeing.
Exploring.
Yeah,
Huh?
and these cute little villages.
Yeah, which are so precious.
And also, an example for lunch and for dinner would be like a pasta dish. We have chicken cacciatore. We had gnocchi. It's a 2 or 3 course meal prepared mostly from their fresh local.
Even the desserts.
Yeah. So everything really they make from scratch. So we have pasta, meat, bread, fruit, desserts. I wish I
They-
had.
oh,
We
they
have
made these-
pictures of all this food.
The first night that we were there, she made like a tempura kind of, was it zucchini? It was very light.
Sweet potato.
Oh yeah, different
and
veggies. It was
peppers.
it was more of an Italian tempura.
Oh, wow.
It was
That
was like
sounds
an
good.
appetizer that they made for us, and then they had made
it's
these
one
little.
of their.
Yeah, I have pictures which we can give you. Yes, they're just
Wonderful.
Yeah, some of the meals were like fabulous. Well, all the meals were fabulous.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit for a moment about the accommodations. How do the rooms work? What's the situation with the rooms?
Okay, so the accommodations in both the hotel and at the villa, there'll be single rooms if someone chooses to purchase that package with ensuite bathroom. There's also double rooms, superior double rooms at the villa, and they will also have an ensuite bathroom. So you would be sharing with a woman. So we encourage women, if they want to come with someone, with a bestie or their sister, to do that. But otherwise, we will be very happy to put you with another wonderful woman. And the lowest price would be a single or double room, but with a shared bathroom. And all the rooms are beautiful. We call the ones with the shared bath a classic room. So they're a little bit more basic, but still beautiful compared to the superior. So you're still getting a wonderful experience. The villa is stunning.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity for a group of girlfriends to enjoy.
Absolutely.
Or mother-daughter, sisters.
Or if you're traveling alone,
That's
solo.
right.
Yes.
I mean, it's a great way to meet other women.
And to get to Italy without having to go by yourself,
Right,
right?
right.
If you've been always wanting to go.
And,
So.
and Leslie and I are fun people.
We'll take good care of you.
I had
Mama Doc.
I said I have one friend who is actually coming. She's already signed up to come, and this is, I think, her first time doing something like this. And her kids said, "Mom, please don't get lost. We don't want to lose you." So she told me that, and I said, "Don't worry. If you want, you can be attached to my hip." So she'll be fine. So just know that we will take good care of you, whatever your situation.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, is there anything else that you can think of that you want to share about the trip?
The only other thing I wanted to say was that we'll be planning more of these too.
That's great.
Yeah.
I want to share that we are very familiar with this property. We've worked with this family. We know the winery. We know the experience. So we can really confidently offer you quality. And Lorraine is an amazing and beautiful person. And we really love to empower women, to serve women, to create a wonderful experience and memory. So that's our heart, right?
Right.
Am I right,
Back at
Lorraine?
you. Yes.
You guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I do want to take a moment to make sure and let everyone know that we're going to have contact information for Leslie and Lorraine in the description of this episode. And I think it's important just to take a moment to just congratulate you because you're living our dream, basically, Susan, you and me.
True.
Right. Oh, gee, how wonderful it is. I'm so proud of you both and happy for you both. And
Absolutely.
hopefully Susan and I will get to join at some point.
Yeah.
Yes. It'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, we would love that.
Yes.
That would be beyond
And we could do a
wonderful.
podcast from there.
That would be fun.
Now that is, you're speaking my language. You are.
Then you can write it off as a business expense.
Yes. You must
For
know.
sure.
You must know about my personal finance history there. So, yes. Oh, what a wonderful idea.
You may have just sold them.
For sure. So, one of the things that Susan and I have been talking about in these last few minutes that we have left, this is something new that we're starting, and we're going to start with you two lovely ladies. And we're asking guests who come on the show what are 3 things you would have told your younger self? And Leslie, I would love to start with you because you are new to my orbit and I don't know you as well. And I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, how
Surprise!
old is my younger self?
You can pick different
My
age
little girl
ranges.
self? Okay. This is what I would say to myself. I would say, you know what? You are exactly who you should be, and you're going to discover amazing things about yourself. And I promise that as the grown-up that I am really going to look out for you and take care of you. If you could see the future that you're walking into, you would be so happy. That's what I would say.
Pretty good.
I love that.
Okay, Lorraine, what about you?
Okay, all of that. And not to wear the weight of other people's opinions on your shoulders.
So good.
Right?
So
So much of what we do, we always are like, oh, what are people going to think? Or whatever. To maybe move more at an earlier age. So when I say move, like we always talk about exercise or whatever, but I think to move more at an earlier age, only because I think a lot of the aches and pains that come with age maybe wouldn't happen. Has nothing to do with weight or whatever. I think it has to do more with longevity because I want to be on the ground with the grandchildren. And so the last one, actually just be in the moment, enjoy life. I have severe FOMO, so I wouldn't change anything about that because I've had great experiences because I've taken chances. Maybe my last bit of advice was take more chances. Take more chances.
Say yes.
Say yes.
yes. Very good. That's all good.
Those are all good suggestions and great advice. Great advice.
So good. Oh, I feel like I just had a spa day. It was wonderful. So good.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. We so enjoyed hearing about the benefits that these types of retreats can be for women, and so exciting to hear about what you've got coming up for those women who are going on this trip with you and how much fun it's going to be. It just sounds fabulous. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more of them to come.
Yep.
So we'll be happy to have you on to share the details of the future ones that you are planning. But as Joy said, we'll share the details of how to get in touch with these 2 ladies if you are interested in this particular retreat, or even talking to them about ideas of places you might want to go for future ones, so they have some places to think about planning for. But anyway, thank you again. It was so much fun.
Yes. Thank you, Leslie, for taking time
It
out
was
to be with us.
wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thanks,
It
and
was wonderful.
we look forward to meeting you in person sometime, Leslie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Where are you ladies based? Where are you
We're both in
living
Raleigh.
right now?
Yeah.
All
You're
of
both
us.
in Raleigh.
All
Okay.
3 of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm going to be in the States in Michigan in May, and then I'll be there for a few months before I come back here. So you never know, right?
Yeah. Well, if you
We'd
can make
love
it.
to have you come.
We're going to do a Michigan one at some point too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and good luck with the trip. We know it's going to be a great success and
yeah.
lots of fun.
Thanks. See you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Girlish Gurus. We hope you'll join us next time for another fun and interesting topic. And please be sure to check the notes for information and links that were included in this discussion today.
Also, don't forget you can find us on our social media platforms, starting with Instagram, Facebook, and now, including YouTube. You can find us by searching Girlish Gurus. And please remember to give this episode a good review and share it with your girlfriends, because the more interaction we get with our podcast episodes, the more episodes we can post. Finally, you can find us on our website, girlishgurus.com.
Thanks again.
See you next time.
Bye.